getting ready to start an inspection here in just a few minutes, and so I carved out some time to come up with some information that I think that home buyers might find interesting. And what I'm looking at is, a lot of times when you get your inspection report, it can be lengthy. You can get a 50-page report sometimes, and a lot of times it's overwhelming for a home buyer to go through that report and figure out what are the most important things to worry about. So I kind of broke down 5 main categories of things that you should really focus on when you're going through the report.
Okay, good.
So the first thing you need to understand before you even start to read the report are 2 important items about what we do. My home inspection is designed to describe the entire house to a potential buyer and the condition that all the systems are in. So we are going to find lots of things wrong with every house, unless it's a new construction, in which case it should be pretty close to perfect. So understand that all houses have deficiencies.
Sure.
And, the report will be lengthy, even if we're describing things that are serviceable.
Yep.
The second thing to keep in mind is when a buyer makes an offer on a house, a lot of times there is disclosed items. And those items, although they may come up on the report, are generally not renegotiated after the inspection report comes in, because those items were known items and a part of the original offer that was made on the house.
Exactly.
So if they told you that the roof was old, and then my report comes back and says, yeah, the roof is old, you generally don't go back and ask for a credit because you knew that when you made the offer.
Yeah, good point, Mike.
So as you go through the report, now we can get to the 5 categories that I consider the most important items. Category number 1 would be safety concerns. These are things that can result in personal injury to you, your family, or other occupants of the home. Like stairs that are faulty, handrails that are loose, things like that, or environmental safety issues like asbestos that's in disrepair, or possibly mold or elevated levels of radon gas. So those things can hurt your family, and those would be important things to focus in on. That being said, the next thing that we're looking at is expensive items or big ticket items. These are those expensive to repair items. Certainly, when buyers are moving into a house, they generally, a lot of times are on a tight budget, and they don't have maybe thousands of dollars to fix some of the higher ticket items.
Yeah.
So these items would be things that you'd want to negotiate. And again, like you talked about, either having the seller repair prior to close, or providing a credit towards the buyer so that they can get in the contract that they choose after closing. And either one of those are totally fine.
Yeah.
These are generally big ticket things and not things that are do-it-yourself or home maintenance items. The next category we're looking at are items that will cause more damage if they're left as they are. And these are not necessarily expensive items. These are things typically like a leak, maybe a structural deficiency where something needs to be repaired before it fails, or another instance of something like that would be like termites or carpenter ants, maybe that haven't caused damage, but there's signs that they're there. Sometimes a small treatment for ants, maybe $125 or $150 to spray a house, can prevent them from doing structural damage down the road. Similarly, a small leak can cause other deficiencies if you let it go. So those type of things would be things that I would say are also urgent repair, even though they may not be big ticket items. The last 2 areas that I recommend buyers focus in on are more with getting into the home. So items that would make it difficult to insure or finance the home. Some lending programs have certain criteria. For example, certain lenders may require that all of the stairs have handrails in place, although that also falls into the safety concern. If you can't get a loan because of a handrail, it's certainly an obstacle that you'll have to overcome.
Yeah.
Either the seller will have to do it, or there have to be some type of consideration for that. Other items that can stop you from financing or insuring a home are an older roof, wood-destroying organisms, again, like termites or carpenter ants, and even abandoned fuel tanks that are no longer used in the basement can also be an insurance issue.
Oh, yeah.
So those type of things, if you can't borrow the money and you can't insure the house, you can't buy it.
Exactly.
Even if they're not really that big a deal. And then the last thing, it sounds really simple, but items that make it impossible to occupy the home. If you have a small leak or a shower that doesn't work and the house has 4 bathrooms, it's not that big a deal.
Yeah.
If it's a 1-bathroom house and the shower doesn't work, well, it becomes a much bigger deal because you can't shower.
Yeah.
So, things that'll make it hard for you to occupy the home would be plumbing fixtures, again, especially if you have a smaller house with limited options. And then, like a septic or a well system, or a heating system that doesn't work. Again, you can't live in a house without those things. So anything that makes it impossible for you to move in, again, will be something to focus in on.
Yeah, all great points. And, if somebody had a failed septic system, like we're going through it right now, the sellers, the buyers ask the sellers to fix it. Now, in the event that the sellers can't afford to fix it or can't afford a credit, there's different renovation type of loans you can take out. And one of them would be a 203K. And we can get into that another time when we have a mortgage professional on the show, but basically a 203K. And if you need information on that, you can contact us. And if you have any questions for Mike Auger, you can definitely find his contributor card on the roundtableradio.com under the expert contributor section. Again, the roundtableradio.com.